Hey, it's Willard from the Willard and Dibs Show. Listen to us every day, 9 to noon. Now let's get you back to the morning roast with the Bay Area's biggest Jimmy G fan, Aponte Hill, and a great guy to share some garlic fries with, Joe Shasky. All yours, guys.
Ooh, I'm the biggest Jimmy G fan now. Jimmy, baby. Got more apology forms. Shoot your video. Apologize.
Jimmy.
Bow down.
Jimmy.
Bow down. Bow down to Jimmy Garoppolo, as this segment is presented by Boxer and Gerson.
I got caught up in Garoppolo mania.
That is the greatest. Northern
Was that on the video?
Yes. Dude, hold on. Boxer and Gerson, Northern California's premier workers' compensation law firm, helping injured workers get their lives back for over 40 years. Jason Aponte, a moment. The Monday night Denver Niners game in the preseason when Jimmy Garoppolo came back from the torn ACL in 2019.
And Booger McFarland was destroying him.
He is scared in the pocket. Literally called him scared, right? So we come back to a BS&G, and then it was a 5-interception practice.
Oh, yeah. In a row.
In a row. Five picks in a row.
Not five. 5 in a row.
In a row.
Came in, and I've never, like Mayoko, everyone, I've never seen that in my life in practice.
So we're railing Jimmy Garoppolo. But for some reason, people were coming down Guru's timeline.
Why?
I don't remember. So Guru's in this spot with some Ray-Bans on and a white beater, or a tank top, I should say. Tank top. I don't like saying that. Tank top. And he's like, stay off my timeline. I got caught up in Garoppolo mania.
Stay off of my timeline.
It was the same video.
I got caught up in Garoppolo mania.
He was like backtracking. And the lines were, it was like, dude, that week of shows was unreal.
Well, go back in time to 95-7, the game between 2017, end of the season, to the beginning of 2018. We were all caught up in Garoppolo mania.
We all were.
I mean, Joe Fortenbaugh was making bets on down to the exact penny of what the contract would be. Every day with him, it was like the contract will be $407.556 months. So he was insane with the money.
He gets traded here, right? And I'm doing the show with Papa at the time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you got to play him. If you're going to pay him, you got to play him. Oh, you can see what's happening in practice. And we're doing a football hour, Low Deal and Romo. Yeah, you don't need to play him. So he comes in those last 2 games. I told you the story what happened. I was in the bathroom. I had to run out. And maybe I wiped, maybe I didn't. But Jimmy Garoppolo comes out in the last 2 plays, and he throws a touchdown pass. I remember that Monday show, Papa, the time is now to play him. He's ready to start. I was saying that for 3 weeks, damn it.
No way.
It's like,
wait, were you telling me Greg didn't come up with this on his own organically, but was filing it under his own original idea?
The time to play is now. And I was just like, and then we all got caught up in Garoppolo mania.
Of course you did.
We all fell in love with him at the line of scrimmage. Get over here. Get set. And I was like, oh, my God, we got a leader in the huddle.
Exactly.
Oh, my God.
Jimmy the Jedi.
Man, and here we are in 2022 still talking about Jimmy Garoppolo.
Are we just going to gloss over? You just said maybe I wiped, maybe I didn't as you're heading out?
That's part of the story. Lewis Murphy just caught something. Where's the toilet paper?
I heard a roar in the crowd. I was like, what the hell's going on? Let me wipe my booty real quick. Maybe I washed my hands, maybe I didn't. And then Jimmy throws the touchdown pass, and the 50 people who are left in Levi's Stadium in the rain, Jimmy, yeah, we got a quarterback. And that took over the entire press conference. Will Jimmy start next week?
I got to say, that Jags win might have been one of my favorite wins of all time.
Dude, it was unbelievable.
Miles Jack and
going into that locker
Ramsey
room. Going into that locker room. They were ticked off at losing to Jimmy Garoppolo. Jalen Ramsey was holding court. Just a system quarterback. It was all scheme. All scheme. Calais Campbell. Yeah, I mean, whatever. And then off the record, Miles Jack goes, I can't believe we lost to that MFer. I swear to God. Marcus Thompson was with me.
Off the record?
Off the record. He slid the shoulder pads in his locker, and he goes, I can't believe we lost to that MFer. They were hot.
Who would have thought that Jags team would take a knee in halftime after leading by 7 on the New England Patriots in the AFC Championship?
Yeah, quarter away. Are you kidding? Blake Bortles.
Oh, look at us.
Oh, man. Blake Bortles. I thought they were going to win that game. Anyway, let's get to Jason Aponte.
Everyone thought they were going to win that game.
We got Jason Aponte, man. We can't be doing that to our guest, man. He's just sitting here.
Is he here?
Listen to this. Yeah, he's
My
here.
bad.
He's here.
I didn't know.
Niners Nation, Sprint Right Pod. We always have Aponte on once
it's
a month.
raining. I'm out of it today.
Yeah, we're just, hey, Jason, man, you remember when Garoppolo got traded to the 49ers and where we were at? And then he threw that first touchdown pass against Seattle, and we all went crazy. They had 2 wins on the season, or 1 win at the time. And all of a sudden, it was like, we got our quarterback. It's Jimmy Garoppolo.
It's really funny how people forget that part of it, man. And I think, again, a lot of it has to do with the 49ers have been looking for their franchise guy since Steve Young. You know, you thought you had it maybe with Jeff. You thought you maybe had it with Cap. Now you have you have it. It's like Jimmy looks the part. Like, if you were going to build a franchise quarterback, you have this guy who dresses so well, this jawline. He was and those mic'd up episodes, kind of to your point, Bonta, of like against Tennessee. You know, like when he's telling Trent Taylor, like, when you slip him, I'm going to bang it on you. Like, go over here. And it's like, damn, he just got here, and it injected life in there. That's something I'll never forget. And anybody who wasn't hyped is lying to themselves.
Exactly. Oh, Trent Taylor. Now I'm thinking about he has the shaved back. Remember that?
Right. Yep.
The breakdown. Speaking of Greg. Anyway, let's get into this year's Niners team.
Oh my God, I remember
this defense. Yeah, we're going real deep here. This defense. How good is this defense right now? Because I'm looking. I'm like I thought Kinlaw would be a factor for them to be a good defense. I thought Eric Armstead would have to be a factor for them to be a good defense. Figured both cornerbacks would have to stay healthy. Jimmy Ward would be out there for 99% of the snaps. Like, none of those things have happened, and they're still a great defense. Why?
You know, I remember we had this conversation about which defense, right? 2012, 2019, 2022, right? And I said that a lot of the cornerback depth, and unfortunately this is at a time when we thought Jason Verrett was going to be around to help us
right.
too. But I said the deciding factor was D'Amico Ryans, and I think it's going to be that. I mean, when you look at this defensive line not having Eric Armstead, Javon Kinlaw, for them to be able to get the most out of Charles Omenihu, Samson Ebba comes missing games, Drake Jackson is just coming along sparingly, they're able to get pressure with 4, sometimes 6, and D'Amico's very good at that. But that line depth and this front office that sometimes we give a lot of grief for when they miss on draft picks, we have to give them their props when they nail these trades for Charles Omenihu for a 5th rounder, Jordan Willis for a 7th rounder. And they bet on those trades, and they have Chris Kosurik, and D'Amico knows how to use them. Obviously, Nick Bosa helps. But, man, this team is built so solidly and coached so well.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the edge that they have right now is D'Amico Ryans, man. Congratulations to him in his head coaching position next year.
Oh, man, don't say that. We hope he stays. We hope somebody bypasses him. Peter King was out here saying, well, we don't know if he knows offensive football. I'm like, yes, Peter, keep pushing that narrative.
Peter also was saying first rounder for Jimmy G.
Yeah, he was. Peter King.
Well, everyone has their opinions.
Everybody misses every now and then. Jason Aponte, Niners Nation, Sprint
Even
Right
Curry
Pod.
only shoots 50%.
Jason Aponte don't miss. He don't miss, especially on the morning roast. Jason, Fred Warner Jr., let's stick with the defense for a second. We'll get over to the offensive side of the football in just a second. But have you seen Fred Warner play any better football over the course of his career?
I don't think so right now at this point. And that's what's funny about Fred, is we kind of set our watch to his production, and it kind of just goes by the wayside sometimes. And then he has these streaks of play in which you're like, oh, my God, there he is again. That's the all-pro guy. I mean, when you look at his stat line from this past game, 7 combined tackles, a quarterback hit, a forced fumble, 2 pass defense. Like, that is, basketball terms, stuffing the stat sheet, literally doing everything that you can. So everything that he's asked to do in terms of quarterback to defense, sometimes carry number 3 receivers up the field, sometimes cover guys man-to-man, sometimes blitz. He's just everywhere right now, and it would be hard to argue against this being his best period of football right now.
When you flip it to the other side, this feels like one of their bigger tests of the year. New Orleans' defense is very good. I know that the team overall, the record isn't great, but their defense is very good. I'm worried about Jimmy staying upright with this offensive line. They've been really good this year. I think it's been one of the quieter stories on the 49er team of their success. He got hit way too much for my liking. I think for most people's liking. Is this their biggest test, you think, all year?
I think that a lot of credit should go to the New Orleans Saints, and I think we kind of underestimated the return of Marcus Davenport and Cameron Jordan. Like, those aren't just regular guys. Those are stud defenders. Cam Jordan, Cal Legend. Like, they were in there. They had a great plan. They pressured with 4, and they dropped 7 the entire game. And that was the first time that you really had watched the 49ers offensive line get beat, right? Against the Chargers, the Rams, and the Cardinals, they kind of held serve. Everything was fine. So it did kind of show that. Now, with this defensive line, Bradley Chubb, they've got some other guys over there as well, too, that are very good. It's going to be imperative that the 49ers could craft a game plan for him to get the ball out fast, a lot more shotgun, and try to possibly use the aggressiveness if they're getting beat with more draw plays in the running game to try to offset all those things, maybe some screens to Christian McCaffrey to slow down that pass rush. So I think that's going to be an interesting portion. I do think that that's the one aspect of what the defense for Miami has that should cause a little bit of concern. Everything else I feel like kind of tips in the 49ers' favor on offense.
Jason Aponte, Sprint Right Pod, Niners Nation, here on the Morning Roast on 95.7 The Game. How bad does Shanahan want this game over Mike McDaniels?
Yeah, if you think that the 49ers didn't circle this game, you're lying. If you think Miami didn't circle this game, you're lying.
Yep.
Kyle Shanahan always wants to beat his understudies, right? His protégés, right? He has good success against Matt LaFleur. He has very good success against Sean McVay. You can bet your ass that he definitely wants this game so badly. And the one thing I'll say is, it's head coach versus head coach, right? And you're going to say Kyle versus Mike. I get that part. For me, this boils down to, in this game, Kyle being the guy on offense and holding that offense together, which is actually going to be the key in my eyes to winning this game, meaning 8 and 10-minute drives, but punctuated with touchdowns to keep that offense off the field and keep your defense fresh. But the real chess match, the real thing that I'm focused on in this game, Mike McDaniel against D'Amico Ryans. Mike knows D'Amico. D'Amico knows Mike.
Right.
Can you go on tendencies? Do you know what he's going to do? Like, that chess match is going to be so much fun, especially with the power and the potency of those guys and those weapons over there.
We obviously don't know if he's even going to play. I think he sat out practice yesterday, Christian McCaffrey, but has he been better than what you thought? Because we were talking about this. I was telling B, like, the first time they got him, I go, I think a lot of people see the name McCaffrey. Right. They play fantasy. I mean, you're not really watching. You're not really, like, drilled in on Panther games. Like, how good actually is this guy? I feel like he's been better than advertised. What do you think?
And I think that a lot of people are looking at his rushing average and trying to quantify what he brings to this offense that way. They're looking at it and it's like, well, it's only 3 a clip. That's not very good. But I think in the same sort of way where Deebo Samuel's an offensive weapon, and some people don't normally categorize him as a wide receiver, Christian McCaffrey's impact goes farther than any stat right now. Meaning when Jimmy Garoppolo gets time in the pocket and he's going 1, 2, 3 through his progressions, he knows exactly where McCaffrey is. He gets that ball to him. And it's not just a dump off to get 2 yards. Christian McCaffrey can make a move on somebody and gain yards. That is the sort of impact that he has that goes beyond the stats. So when people cite, well, he only ran for this amount of yards and it was only this amount of average, yeah, but the attention that's being drawn to him on defense, what's opening things up for everybody else, that's the way that you really quantify his impact, and I think it's been very impactful.
We were talking a lot this week, Jason, about DPOY, right? Is Nick Bosa going to be a DPOY candidate? And Micah Parsons is up there. Of course, Chris Jones, I think Kansas City Chiefs. Max Crosby getting some love with the Las Vegas Raiders. It feels like these next 3 games for Nick Bosa, where there's going to have no Terran Armstead, left tackle for the Dolphins. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to be missing Tristan Wirfs on one side of the football. Bosa can move around. And then, of course, you got the Thursday night primetime game against Seattle. It feels like if Bosa can rack up 3 to 5 sacks in this next 3-game stretch, which is asking for a lot, but that gets him up to about 16.5 during the last 3 games of the season. It feels like this is a time he can make his case over the next 3 games.
Yeah, for sure. And the NFL is taking notice. He was just named today Defensive Player of the Month. He is the 5th player since 2000 to have 9 sacks in his first 10 games. And remember, he missed a game. I mean, we run out of ways to describe Nick Bosa. It's almost like he goes about his business, again, almost in the same way with Fred Warner. You set your watch to it. But, yeah, if he can have 1 or 2 sacks in this game, if he can show his impact, impress your Tua Tagovailoa, because the whole idea that Miami, what they do with Tua is the same thing that Jimmy's asked for San Francisco. Get the ball out fast, get it to your playmakers. That's how they've been able to offset a bottom half offensive line. He's been playing very good football. But if Nick Bosa can make him feel him, then show that and kind of bring Tua down to earth, because he's been putting up some gaudy stats. I believe they have 4 straight games with over 30 points. That'll certainly strengthen his case, but you never can discount the Dallas Cowboys factor and how much the NFL loves
I know.
team.
I told you, dude.
Yeah, Micah Parsons, first take, all that stuff. Yeah,
it means a lot. The star, dude. Give me them. Oh, I want them in the playoffs.
By the way, is Jason feeling the heat about Aaron Judge? I
was going to ask him that. Yeah, so you're a big Yankee fan. You're over there on the East Coast. We have been on Judge watch the entire time. What's your feeling today? Is Aaron Judge going back to the Yankees? What is New York saying about Aaron Judge right now?
It feels like it's 60-40 right now. Whatever offer you guys are going to offer, the Yankees are going to offer more. And if the Yankees have to play hardball, they are going to throw another year in there on top of it. So if you guys want to offer 8 for 320, the Yankees have no problem saying, okay, we're going to do 9 for 340. And you know what? It'll be a typical Yankee fan to love the contract for the first 4 years. If Aaron Judge tapers off at the end, all they'll do is boom and complain. So there's no way to make Yankee fans happy. I would say it's 60-40 right now, but I think it all just boils down to what Aaron Judge wants to do. Does he want to come back? Yeah. Does he have this whole idea of, I've been a Yankee this entire time. He has a chance to be captain next year and add to the lore of this team. Does he feel that, or does he want to go home? I think it boils down to that more than does money at this point.
We're praying.
I want him so bad.
We're praying.
I want him so bad.
I'd be happy for you guys.
I want him so bad.
I'd be happy for you two guys. Not the people on Twitter that every time I was like, Aaron Judge home run, and they're like, future Giant, future Giant. Those guys, my petty hand is going to start like going off.
The Yankees have taken everybody, all right? It's about time we took somebody from the Yankees.
And Twitter's jumped the shark, too. We know Twitter's out of control
I
these
deleted
days.
it off my phone, thank God. It's the happiest I've ever been.
If it's you guys and you guys get them, I love that story. Honestly, seriously.
Yeah, no.
And it'll
No
be
doubt.
cool. I've been to Oracle. It's my favorite park by far that I've ever been to.
Really?
It's a beautiful place. So yeah, it is.
It's beautiful.
It's on the lake. It's just the way that it's set up. It's awesome, man. So yeah, I have no problem with that. I actually went to Evan Longoria's first game.
Oh
no, not Evan Longoria. Chris Bryant's first game.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow.
Chris Bryant.
Okay,
Yeah, that was
okay.
fun.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
When you coming back to the Bay? When are you coming back out here? What's the deal?
Soon. I'm thinking that I'm either going to hold off for a playoff game,
Nice.
or I'm going to kind of hope that the NFC Championship comes down to Philadelphia, so I can just drive right over, a little bit further and go there.
Jasky wants the Eagles. I'm petrified of Philly. I'm not gonna lie to you, Jason. I'm a little weary
In
about them,
West
man.
Philadelphia.
Yeah,
That's
born
where
and
I'm
raised.
coming.
Yeah, I know.
I'm
I love the 215, man, but that's gonna be a dangerous game. Remember last year in Philadelphia, week 2 with Jimmy, it was like, oh boy, he can't even get the ball off, man. It was a physical fist fight.
Last year was
in that
last
one.
year,
But
this
it
is
was,
now.
and they're tough.
Thank you,
They're
Jason.
tough. But Jason, man, good stuff
Have a
as
good one,
always.
man. Happy holidays.
Thank you, guys. Happy
Anytime.
holidays.
Sounds good.
Happy holidays, man. Jason Aponte doing a great job on the Sprint Right Pod.